We're now joined by Zach Gelb, Infinity Sports Network. He's going to be getting on a train to get out of town for a little bit, to go to something. So he joins us now. Zach, thank you very much. With Craig and Paul, David Smoak, your thoughts about Michigan?
Sure. Good. Because Michigan. With that being said, no one would have saw what transpired today with the off the field conduct that, I think we could all figure out what actually happened there without it being told to us. My immediate hot take would be Kenny Dillingham. That's what I would say would probably be if I'm Ward Manuel, that's the first phone call with all the names that have changed in the cycle. I would go throw a big bag of cash at Kenny Dillingham.
Yeah, Zach, I wonder are they willing to go outside their own circles enough to call Kenny Dillingham? Like that's the big question I have about Michigan. I completely agree. I think he's a home run wherever he would go. But is Michigan open enough to going outside the family tree?
I think they have to, because when I was on the air and this news came down, the first name I thought of, I go, what about Jesse Minter, right? Who is a Michigan guy, and then Jesse Minter, obviously is with the NFL, but he's about to get an NFL head coaching job. And then I said to myself, well, hold on. I was texting with John Jansen, who does the Michigan games, and he goes, didn't he just get a show cause? So and he has a show cause going back from, what was it, May or April, whenever that investigation did wrap up. So I wonder, even if they want these hardball guys, how many of these guys still have show causes? I have to go back and look at that. But if I was them, since you just went with the hardball guy and it failed, I think you could get out of the Michigan trade.
Zach, I'm just kind of testing out this theory right now, but I feel like the NBA in the last several years has become far more about like it's off the court and it's trades and it's madness than it's like regular season most of the time. And then eventually the finals do matter and all of that. But the NBA, a lot of it's like just not really the basketball all the time. And college football, I still feel like the football matters, but man, this coaching carousel, nearly 30 schools changing jobs. Like you have this quieting down and all of a sudden here's the Michigan job opening up, the portal, like all these things. I mean, soap opera is definitely a description that you could use, but it's not quite to the NBA level, I feel like, where the on the court's been diluted, but it feels like it's just in a really wild place right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so in the NBA, I think they structure their season where it's the offseason matters the most, then the playoffs, and they don't care about the regular season. When you get to college football, I would say, and this is the regular season is still number one to me. I would now say the offseason is number two, and in a weird way, the playoffs actually may be three. Because when you look at this, these first-round matchups with Tulane and James Madison in there, we're probably going to get two blowouts, and then who even knows if the close games are going to be blowouts? You can't just only blame it on the G5 because there's no G5 team in last year in the first round of the playoffs. And for the most part, all those games were pretty much blowouts. I think the closest one was Notre Dame and Indiana, which was a 10-point game, and it never really felt like Notre Dame was going to lose. So you're right. In college football, the regular season will always matter. But the Real Housewives of like New Jersey or whatever you want to say, in Ames, whatever, is running rampant. And a coach like Lane Kiffin is probably sitting there and he's probably joking around. I think he's going to stay at LSU, obviously. Oh, but could I got the Michigan job? I think Michigan would have been the second best job in the market. And the only, like, if all these jobs opened up at the same time, the only one would have been behind would have been LSU.
Yeah, it's think about the names, the banger schools that have had openings, and now Michigan added to the list. So
here's the other thing that's intriguing about this.
Yep.
I wonder when they knew. You know, this was an investigation. When did they have a sense which way this was going? Because if they had to wait until today for the investigation to wrap up, if it wrapped up last night, that's a different story. But if they had a sense that it was going this way 2 weeks ago, a week ago, couldn't you have kind of back-channeled to maybe some candidates, hey, you know, maybe you don't want to take this job because Michigan's going to be open. I just wonder how that did play on out.
Zach, I talked to a couple people that have known about rumblings for weeks surrounding Sherrone Moore, and I don't trust the University of Michigan on their timelines or anything they say about investigations on anything from now until the end of time.
Yeah, that's fair. It's not like Michigan has been the most trustworthy through the years. There is no doubt about that. But with that being said, I don't think we will get the truth until there is like a tell-all in a week or two from like The Athletic or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Zach, any HSOs, hot sports opinions on Notre Dame and the college football playoff, or have you just kind of been drowned in it like everybody else the last few days? Just your thoughts on the Irish and their battle now with the ACC and their snub and everything that's come with that.
You know, I was talking to Tim Tebow today, and he said, is the goal really to find the best 12 teams? Because you can't tell me that Notre Dame isn't one of the best 12 teams in college football. A little message to the SEC. I've done this. I looked at A&M's schedule. I looked at Alabama's schedule this year. Notre Dame could have been a 3-loss or fewer team, I think, easily in the SEC. But they did lose to A&M to open up the season. They lost to Miami. I don't think it's the job of the committee right now. They're not set up to find the best 12 teams because there's parameters in place to prevent them from doing so. Like, for example, if Virginia would have won the ACC, they would have been in. Are they one of the top 12 teams in the country? No. Is James Madison a top 12 team in the country? No, but it's the highest 5-ranked conference champ. Same could be said for Tulane. So I wonder what they should do. Do you go to 16? I think that's probably most likely. I would suggest maybe just going to 14 and you have it really be a 12-team format where 11 plays 14, 12 plays 13 to get the list narrowed down into the 12 teams, and you have a little play-in tournament that way. Do you maybe just tell the G5 to break up altogether and have your own playoff and have, the main playoff for the big boy schools? Like, those are all things that are on the table. But when it comes to the Notre Dame decision, I don't think it was the wrong decision, but the process and how they got to that decision is crazy. Like, they were comparing Alabama and Notre Dame all along. I know Notre Dame didn't play last week and Alabama did. Alabama got smacked. I thought for sure Alabama was going to fall back a spot. Notre Dame was going to move up to 9. Then they were just going to avoid the Notre Dame-Miami debate, and it was going to be an Alabama-Miami debate, and Miami would be on the outside looking in. But once you keep Alabama there, you finally compare Notre Dame and Miami like the rest of us. And since the metrics are so close, yeah, Miami should get in over Notre Dame because they beat them. But if they play tomorrow, I do think Notre Dame would beat Miami.
Man, the bangers and the games and all that. So Zach, in the stretch of what we've had with what's going on in college football, what else could happen that would top what we already have been dealing with lately?
Honestly, at this rate, I don't have a damn clue. Maybe, you know what? You know what'd be a cool story, though? I think with how much the coaching carousel has been nuts. Now, I'm not going to put my eggs in the basket of Tulane beating Ole Miss or James Madison beating Oregon. But what about Ole Miss, who lost one game this season? They were the better team up against Georgia for the first 3 quarters, and they melted down in the 4th quarter. They have a coach leave you. I know some of the staff is obviously back for the playoff run, but could you imagine Lane Kiffin, who would still be getting his bonuses, by the way, with the way his contract is structured at LSU, having to watch Ole Miss go make a run at the national championship? I think that would be a fitting way. I don't know if Ole Miss could do it. I like Kewan Lacey. I like Trinidad Chambliss. But that would be intriguing to me if I didn't have a dog in the fight.
That would be fun to watch if it could get to that point.
Zach, one quick NFL question before I know that we have you. I'll let you go so you can catch your train. Will the Cowboys win out, and will the Eagles go 2-2?
I think with the way that the Eagles schedule is, they'll be better than 2-2, but I don't trust their quarterback. Will the Cowboys win out? I would probably say no, but if you are in a car or if you are near a radio this weekend and you want to listen to Compass Media Network between the Cowboys and the Vikings on Sunday Night Football, I'll be doing the studio hosting for pre-hap and post of the Cowboys game. So make sure you listen into that.
All right. So what do you have tonight? You have something to do? You had to get on a train, right?
Yeah, so I had a few doctor's appointments this morning. So I visited my parents on Long Island, and I did the show here out on Long Island. And I had to bolt back into the city tonight via train. And my train leaves right at like 6:40 for the hour train ride, and then I'm off to Army Navy. I'll be doing my show there, coming up on Friday. So, just a little busy travel schedule today, right when the show ended, and I got to go make a train, about 10 minutes away from my folks' house.
We'll let you go. Army Navy, as good as it gets, man. The emotions of that game, everybody can get caught up in that one. We had Blake Horvath, the Navy quarterback, on with us, and he was fantastic. He was fantastic.
Well, no, I'm looking forward to it. I've done a bunch of the Radio Rows, but I've never been to an actual Army-Navy game, so I'm sticking around for the game this year, and I'm looking forward to it.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Good luck with your trip. Thank you very much, and have a great broadcast this weekend.
Yep, you got it, guys. Thank you.
Zach Gelb with us, Infinity Sports Network.